was on my own and I didn't have anything better to do, I could always have my pens and my paint to fall back on. I could sit in my house at 2 o'clock in the morning and say I'm going out for 4 hours. I didn't need to have company, I didn't need to have friends, I didn't need to have nothing. I just went out and done something that was instant satisfaction, free of charge. I was out there every single day without fail, tagging, bombing, whatever you want to call it, I was out there doing it. I used to get night buses to the far reaches of London, get off the night bus and walk home. 8, 9, 10 miles I would walk home, and I would absolutely write on everything that was in my way. As a young person I was shy and I didn't really maybe communicate with other people on a great level, but as I became well known for graffiti, when I met people that maybe I may not have had a lot to say to in the past, I met them as Drax. They already knew kind of what I was all about, and that I was prolific and that I was a dedicated writer, and they had that element of respect for me. I don't want any fame, I don't want any exposure, but my name, the persona that I invented for myself in the graffiti world, I wanted that to be famous, and I still do yearn for that.
The one thing about graffiti that I think that people lost along the way is a respect for it and fellow people doing it.
Other writers that aren't as well known will go over a famous person to make a name for themselves.
When you do stuff like that, you show no consideration for the guy who done the art. That's suckerness, you know? You're not getting nowhere by come writing your name in somebody's piece, you know? When you could be home practicing on paper what you're gonna do the next time when you get big, when you get old enough to do a piece. But the bottom line is, if you never have a writer who thinks he is nasty as the next man, then you ain't gonna have writing, because you always got somebody who wanna prove that they're as good as the next guy who's doing a piece.
The spots I choose mostly are spots which are seen by many people, but that doesn't mean that I do them because of the people seeing them, because it's just because I myself pass those spots often. It fills most of my time which I am awake. I paint alone mostly, so I have the possibility to think. With every painting there are thoughts connected. I got used to just getting my cans on my own and just walk outside in the night, even if it's cold, if it's raining. Other people are just sitting at home and maybe watching TV, fucking their wives, just doing stuff that everybody does, and I'm able to express myself.
I want to be known. In 100 years, only a couple of names will be remembered. I want to be one of them.
King is always going to be what you say, a true legendary writer like me, myself, and I, who was the one and only member of the Fantastic Partners crew who really made what this is now. You know what I'm saying? From lettering to designs and everything else, you know? Now you got these dudes who do these big productions that make themselves look good as a writer because, you know, it's better without doing it on the train when you got walls. But back in the days, if you didn't have whole cars on the subway, and plenty of them, you was considered straight up toy.
What is it, top to bottom? Top to bottom. Try Kingz right now. Let me get look.
They wanted to see this traveling around on the system so they could point to it and say, that's my work, that's my tag.
And I used to love to see your morning strap hangers reading their newspaper, drinking a cup of coffee, and all of a sudden this train comes rolling into the station, and they glance up. You know, sometimes you see them drop their cup of coffee and the newspaper, and then you see this whole thing of color come pulling into the station.
A train yard is something like a playground for you. You enter it and it has certain rules. It has a certain atmosphere.
We know where to go, how to go, so we never get really busted.
You don't see yourself as a criminal, you just see yourself like as a very slick, cool, clever boy who's tried to give his art somewhere to the public and gets away with it.
You know, like a fighter who wants to hunt a lion for the first time. You got to prove his maturity.
It's just like the whole action. It's like an act, sort of like the lost adventure you can get in the city.
We found after we did some surveys that the public were very concerned about this type of damage. In addition to that, of course, London Underground, I think it was costing them, when we first started, about £2 million a year. That went up to £4 million, although it's decreased subsequently.